From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
The day began with lots of snow across the area. The time lapse from our capital cam shows Michigan Avenue at times a little snow covered, but once we got the sun up, temperatures were near 30 degrees and the snow got lighter, and we had some salt out there. Things really improved driving wise across the region, although there still have been a few snow showers out there this evening. Those two will come to an end fairly soon, however. Temperatures are below freezing, upper 20s and low 30s, so use caution. Any slick spots or wet spots could become a little icy out there over the next couple of hours. Tonight's forecast, low temperatures mid-teens. Tomorrow morning we have got a bitterly cold weekend on the way. Feel Good Friday starts right now.
From 6 News, this is Feel Good Friday.
If you're in the headquarters on December 24th, it is a very active place in Colorado Springs with over 1,000 volunteers that are there working.
And I thought, you know, I've known people before who've needed kidneys. I've never had the urge to donate mine. This feeling must be for a reason.
And everyone's talking, and it's lovely. It really is. It just made me a bit upset, but in a nice way.
Well, thank you for joining us on this Feel Good Friday. I'm Sherry Jones. Siobhan has the night off. Well, we begin talking tonight about a man who had a heart attack in the middle of a bowling alley, but he survived thanks to some quick thinking people who really knew what to do. Yeah. And our Rachel Ramsey joins me now to share this story and really talk about the importance of knowing CPR.
Yeah, Sherry. 57-year-old Dennis Kelly had just put his bowling balls down, ready to start a game at City Limits in Mason when he went into cardiac arrest. It just so happened that an off-duty Ingham County Sheriff's Sergeant was at the bowling alley and went to help. And on top of that, a retired paramedic with 40 years experience was also at the bowling alley, and together the two men started CPR on Dennis. When the call for help came through, a sheriff's deputy was right by the bowling alley, so he quickly got to City Limits and started using his automated external defibrillator, or an AED, on Dennis. Other agencies arrived, and after 4 shocks, they got Dennis's pulse back, and he was taken to the hospital.
I am very, very glad to be here.
We're glad you're here with us.
You can't say enough about CPR. I mean, the sooner somebody without a heart rate gets CPR, the more chance of survivability they have, along with AED. Every major facility should have an AED.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. And you may be thinking, what are the odds that Dennis had all of those CPR resources so close to him, right? How lucky was he? But if you think about it, the more people who know CPR, the better the odds of others having this outcome.
Exactly, Sherry. And that's why the Sheriff's Office is urging people to learn CPR. So for those who want to learn, there is a class coming up on March 1st at the Ingham County Sheriff's Office. It's in partnership with Championships of the Heart. And if you're looking to sign up, the email to do so is on your screen, and you can find it on the Scene on 6 section of our website, WLNS.com.
All right, thanks very much for bringing us that story, Rachel. We're going to turn now to our sister station in Grand Rapids and another story of somebody being there for someone in need. A news anchor there recently actually donated a kidney to a complete stranger.
Wow.
Teresa Weekly was having a conversation with a friend who knew someone in need of a kidney transplant. Well, that was back in 2023, and that story stayed with her. The woman who needed the organ, Jennifer Vanderpool of Grand Rapids, had been scheduled for transplants 6 times over 3 years, and they all had to be canceled for various reasons until her story reached Weekly's ears.
Just remember having that feeling like this is something I'm supposed to see if I can do. And I thought, you know, I've known people before who've needed kidneys. I've never had the urge to donate mine. This feeling must be for a reason.
Now, because the two women were not a perfect match, they entered what's called a voucher program. Weekly's healthy kidney went to a complete stranger, and Vanderpool would get a voucher for a transplant from another stranger who was in the program. 10 months after Weekly donated her kidney, Vanderpool received a new one. And in Massachusetts, another story of a rescue, but this one, the one needing to be rescued, was an elderly cat that was stuck on a piece of ice floating in a lake. A passerby called police, but the cat fell into the water before they got there, so some bystanders sprang into action, reaching the cat with a rowboat. Police arrived and took him to a veterinarian where he was all warmed up. And it turns out the cat, whose name is Tiki, is 20 years old and blind. Animals in the Ukraine capital city of Kyiv, just like the people, are victimized by the Russian invasion of their country. So on Wednesday, the Kyiv Zoo got some help. Zoos in Germany and Austria sent 18 tons of specialized food for the animals. Many of them need this kind of food to live, and Ukrainian companies that made it easier, they either destroyed it or blocked it by fighting. But now the animals are finally eating very well. Well, every year children around the world track Santa with the help of the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or what we know as NORAD. Millions follow Santa on Christmas Eve on NORAD's website that continuously updates St. Nick's whereabouts. And about 100,000 actually call NORAD for those updates.
If you're in the headquarters on December 24th, it is a very active place in Colorado Springs with over 1,000 volunteers that are there working together to both answer phone calls and do the support to track Santa across the 24 hours that occur across the globe.
And you know, kids who might have heard adults talking about a possible government shutdown need not to worry. It won't affect NORAD's operations or Santa's flight. You got that, you got AI. The kids will definitely be able to talk to Santa and mail their letters the good old-fashioned way.
Right, can you imagine that these days? You know, radar can actually track things as small as mosquitoes, so something as big as Santa or me would have no problem tracking at all.
Very good. How's the weather looking for that?
You know, weather-wise, we got the snow around this weekend, but Santa may want to have the wheels on the sled just in case next week.
All right. You'll explain more about that, I'm sure. Well, one